that you had that somehow saw you through. You told me that that would be ruthless honesty with yourself.
With yourself.
With yourself.
Yes.
See?
Not the honesty that we are all talking.
Right.
To be honest with yourself. That's very difficult.
It's very difficult.
Very difficult.
And that was always working
the
in
only
you.
honesty you know is the policy. Honesty. Man of integrity, man of honesty, they don't interest me at all.
It's all bull.
No, they don't interest me.
That's
So
not
any
interesting.
question you throw at me about those people, the great teachers of mankind,
Right.
you say, I don't care whether they are honest. They may be the men of honesty, they may be the men of integrity, but they don't interest me. In that cultural framework, such men are, you see, models and valuable, not to me. You know?
Right, right. And how did this ruthless honesty operate in you?
From the very beginning.
From all your life.
There in my makeup, I was genetically programmed that way.
What do you mean by ruthless honesty?
And
About yourself.
first of all, you see, I questioned every experience as worthless. You see, there is nothing to eat. Nothing to eat.
As long as, I think, the way I say it is, as long as it is now here, that it's not there the next moment, the experience has no value whatsoever.
No value at all. There is no such
That's
thing
why
as
I
no
see
experience.
it's just an experience, because it comes and it goes. You put value on it, you do.
Or the demand to repeat it again and again. That's another thing.
So you didn't have...
So these people don't accept when I say whatever cannot be experienced does not exist. How can you say that, you see?
Whatever, what?
Whatever you cannot experience does not exist. So then they go into that, the object is there. So where is the object? You see? The object, this chair is still there whether you experience it or not. No, you have no way. If you say it's an object, you might as well call it a chair. What's the difference between the two? Recognition and naming are not two different things.
Naming is, recognition is naming.
Naming.
No recognition.
You may not use the word,
It doesn't matter.
but to recognize a form as thing, you see a material thing there, is the naming process, you see.
Yeah, I mean, if there were no naming, then you wouldn't be able to discriminate between the chair and the person or that chair.
Actually, I don't.
You don't.
He doesn't.
Actually, I don't. If you ask me the question,
Then it comes up.
then you see the knowledge which you and I have tells me that you see
Murti is getting up from the couch.
Not the chair. Chair is not moving.
The chair is not moving, they must
So
be different.
then you see it's finished.
Yeah, but he doesn't keep on saying, therefore it must be different. He goes back to
Yeah, he's in an undifferentiated state unless the demand is made on him.
No, it is not undifferentiated
So say-
state. It is not a state. It is not static. It's
Not
movement.
static.
Undifferentiated state, you see, unknown. This is the problem for
The language is a problem.
our Ramadas. You see, he still has to maintain that there is such a thing as the unknown, that he could be in an unknown state. And how can you tell yourself that you are in an unknown state? That's what my point is.
Right. It's absurd.
Yeah, I was in a thoughtless state. What the hell you are talking about? You see, look, you know. And describe the unknown. This I told the old man. You see, he didn't like it. You see, he didn't like it in the sense that he changed this subject. You should stop with what is.
Yeah.
Don't describe that.
Don't describe it, right?
Don't describe what. That was my problem with him. If you take off from there, Valentine realized that point. You see, she listened to him for the first time. She was not interested in any of this stuff at all.
Right.
Her grandfather was a minister, a very well-known minister, but she never attended the church. They tried to drag her even as a little girl. She didn't want to go anywhere near the church. And so, you see, she listened to him, you see, one full series. In the end, she said he doesn't belong to our times. He is a Victorian talking something. He is interesting, analysis is very, his insights are very, powerful. That's all.
Right.
But he takes off and all this poetry, he belonged to the last century.
Right.
She rejected him.
Yeah. His training was 19th century.
Yes, but you see, what is, must be, all right, what is, whatever is there. But if you say anything about that, you are destroying the whole thing. That's only to stay in business. That's all.
Right.
Ramdas was saying something, describe
The unknown.
How could you describe the unknown?
How could you describe the unknown? How can you tell yourself that you are in the unknown? How can you say that there is any void?
Camera's rolling. I'm doing the best.
Great. I wish we could
What
go
do you mean
back.
it is
Yeah,
emptiness,
that was
it is
good.
void.
Yeah.
What the hell you are talking about?
Yeah.
It is not empty, it is not void.
Mhm.
How can you describe the void and build a tremendous structure of...
But tell me for a second, when you so-called wake up, I know you don't sleep, but when your body is in a state of rest, your eyes are closed, and the senses are withdrawn in what I would call sleep, right? When you awake from that, what happens? What is your description of how you would...
Listen, you see, that is the reason why I am asking you. Are you awake now? You seem to have the knowledge of the wakeful state now.
Yeah, right.
So in relationship with this, you talk about the sleep.
Yes,
You
yeah,
see,
that's right.
I was asleep,
Right.
and you see, from this.
Right.
All right, that statement can be explained only through your logic.
Yeah.
Go on and on and on, you are talking, you are responding, you are not sleeping. You see, the knowledge you have of the wakeful state, but you don't know a thing about the sleep at all. See, why you dream?
Right.
You don't sleep. So the
Yes.
division between it wakeful, sleeping, dreaming states is absent totally.
Absent, and you don't experience that at all.
At all, I can never tell myself that I am awake. It's just the way you can't tell yourself that you are asleep.
Okay.
So there is no difference between the two. But
Right.
if you ask me, are you awake? The question implies that you know the functioning of a wakeful man. So since I also know the functioning of a wakeful man, how a wakeful man functions, I am giving the answer, yes, I am awake. But the fact of that can never be experienced by me or by anybody. So anything you say about your sleep is in relationship with the assumed wakeful state that you think you are in. So you don't know a thing. You cannot tell yourself while you are sleeping that you are asleep. Can you? No. So the same thing. Why you?
Well, you can have a dream in which you're aware that you're
If somebody
dreaming.
asks you in your dream, are you awake?
No, you won't say that. At that time you cannot tell your friend that you were dreaming. Only when you come out of the dream you can tell yourself. You tell me that while you were dreaming you knew that you were dreaming. I doubt that statement.
Oh, I've had that experience.
Experience maybe, but it's doubtful. I don't think that you can tell yourself while you are dreaming that you are dreaming, that this is a dream. No.
But it's not clear. You're saying if somebody asks you you're awake, you use the general criteria to say, okay, this is why I'm awake.
That's why
Apart from that,
that after giving the answer, the situation is the same. I don't even know. I don't.
you don't ask that question.
I never ask the question. Why should I ask the question? Never do I tell myself that it is bright out there. If you ask me, is it bright, sunny? Yes, is the answer. That is why I say the questions are born out of the answers you already have. You understand that? So I never tell myself that it is bright and sunny, that it is sun, that it is beautiful, that it is a fly, that you are a man, that's a woman, that's a camera. Never. You
But see, there would be no answers.
Even after the eyes are closed, the details are not there, but the light is still there. Because the light is penetrating through the porous skin of yours. So the light is still there. If it is dark, totally dark, thought, you see, produces light sometimes,
It makes the optic nerve active.
Active. Sound and light are interchangeable. That is what all these people experienced and talked of. You see the flashes of light, you see, the sound is something.
Oh, out of my
What are
body.
you saying?
Oy vey.
What is that?
I don't know. Sometimes it just blocks all the escapes listening to you, and it just makes it makes the mind feel sticky. You know what I mean? It has a little momentum. Hard to forget it. Just forget it.
What is the expression I used? You know, in the shooting, you throw something and skeeting.
Skeet shooting, trap shooting, right? Yeah, right.
That's what goes on.
That's what goes on here, right? You throw it up. That's excellent. I like it. Skeet shooting, right? Right.
It is skeeting.
Right. This person that I think I am, mistakenly think that I am,
Any
feels
thought,
like it keeps throwing up its bits and pieces of memory, ideas, experience, knowledge, the sum total of what I am, and it gets blasted. And I don't
Not
really.
with the idea of
No intent on your part. No, you wouldn't. I would not corrupt.
Such an innocent man.
Yeah, I mean, you're such an innocent man. I would not.
I wouldn't lift my little finger.
To help me, I know you can't stand me. I'm a nasty Jewish bastard. But
That does not prevent me from tolerating you. Not tolerating you. What is it? Sitting with you. Sitting with you.
No, because we've known each other 20 years, and why change anything?
Even if I call you, see,
It doesn't matter. You don't.
I do really, literally mean it.
Yeah, you do mean it, but you don't mean it.
And what we need is some radical crap shooting.
Well, we have some radical crap shooting going on
What
here.
shooting?
I said, simply to throw up and shoot that is doesn't fulfill anything.
No, this is
The
nature.
basic thing has to be shot at, if at all.
Your discussion is something
Well,
like
there is
that.
nothing basic to it. I mean,
There's
just-
a basic in a sense that
It's a game.
your self-perpetuating mechanism, as you would
It's
say.
a
the
game,
basic
you
thing.
see, like
Yeah.
people going and practicing there.
But there's no central target. That's the paradox. The skeet shooting goes on. You have thoughts arise, mind forms, defenses, images, right? These things come up, right? But there's no central unit from which they're arising. So
No,
there's
but we all behave as though there is,
Yes, we do.
except for you. So
Well-
in that sense, he's different.
Well,
Yeah.
we seem to make that out of what he's saying.
No, I mean we assume whatever it is, we assume that there is something here.
Yeah, right.
It's
that-
difficult. It's difficult. You see, we were discussing this on the dots there. All that is dots, and you are the one that is creating the picture, image.
Yes.
It's difficult for you. He got the point. He repeated that there. See?
You're talking about the resolution of the television. That is-
Yes, you are not
just,
seeing them as pictures here.
There's just pixels.
They're all, you see, points there. You see exactly the way the points are there. And you are translating them, you see, within the framework of your memory and building an image picture there.
Right.
I don't do that.
Right.
Not that I see as points. You see, how the picture is put together is reflected there on the retina. As dots. Also the same, you see, when you are listening to a tape, you don't listen the spaces there. There are gaps there all the time.
They
Music.
used to call what you're talking about in India they would call it witness consciousness or something like that. But you use no such reference point. Why is
There
that?
no witness, sir. Witness is a divided state. Division is their witness. That's why they don't like witness, existence, bliss, absolute, nothing. If there is a witness or awareness, choiceless awareness, so that is not something that you can use to bring about any change there. So that's all that I'm saying. The dog always looks at you like that. I'm like that, you see, most of the time. Cats, dog. You see, that is the choiceless awareness that is in operation there. It doesn't use that as a means to bring about any change. That's all that I'm saying. It is not as an independent activity, you see. It has no separate existence of its own. Consciousness, awareness, all that, you see, has no independence. So no time you can say anything about consciousness. The recognition is consciousness. When the recognition is not there, was there anything, you see? Using that witness business, Now I am describing it in physiological terms, but even that cannot be experienced. You know, what I am telling you is what I learned from a physiologist to spotlight, focus it so that if you look at this way, I am telling you, then it is simplified. If you talk in terms of witness, the observer, there is perception. There is no perception without the perceiver, let alone pure perception.
That means this description is like a convention just like that one, you're saying. Are you saying?
That's
because
exactly right.
Yes, exactly. That's what I am saying.
That's exactly what he's saying.
I don't experience that way. I can't separate the response from the stimulus any more than you can. You cannot. I don't know if that makes any sense. No, not that. This is what I learned from the physiologists. Let us use this and understand. Instead of talking of the seer, the seen, I don't know what they meant, and we don't care. A witness or choiceless awareness, why bother about this choiceless awareness?
Yeah, I guess you use that. I mean, that convention is no better or worse than any other.
That's all that I'm saying. There is no pure perception at all. Sorry?
What is there you cannot say. Think about it.
You cannot say. Then how can they describe it in poetic, romantic languages? Huh?
Well, it's contaminated by the demand to know about.
Yes, certainly. He obviously knows that it is something different from, you see, the
abstraction.
The love is nothing but...
See, the very urge to describe does not arise unless you want to do something else.
No.
There's no urge you need to describe it.
In a way, even though you're talking all the time, you're a mauna.
You know, that fellow admitted, it is there in that tape.
Which fellow?
Psychiatrist.
Uh-huh.
When I was talking, somebody asked me a question about silence. Do you know what silence is? Not that peace of mind, not that you are trying to experience, the silent mind, not at all. Anybody who is there in a soundproof room will tell you why, you see, it drives them crazy. He said he put himself in a soundproof room. You were there that day, remember?
Right. Huh? He said cacophony is the word he used.
Sensory deprivation.
Yeah,
yes,
but it was hooked up.
Everything starts off.
There's a certain name for it.
No, the heartbeat, you cannot, your own heartbeat and flow of blood
It's
in
a
your
chamber
veins.
where you're, not only is it sensory deprivation, but they've got biofeedback, so your own heartbeat and bloodstream is fed back through acoustic, picked up electronically and fed back.
Yeah.
So you hear your own body talking, so to speak.
That is the peace.
He said it's a cacophony. He said it was so noisy.
So that's it, that's the peace.
That's the peace. There's no such thing.
Volcanic eruption. You see, the roar of an ocean. And you sit here and think that it's a peace. What the hell you are talking? That happens to me all the time.
All the time.
When there is total silence around me.
Right.
You have to listen to your own heartbeat. That's too much. You don't want this.
You don't want it.
No, your blood.
I imagine just hearing your own heartbeat would it be enough
Too
to
much.
stop it right there. It would snap it.
Snap what?
The sense of continuity. Right? I mean, identity, the sense of self that we have.
Listen, when I am describing this, when I was hearing this,
Right.
there was a division there. You see, don't think that I am telling you that there is a division there. Otherwise, how would I know?
How would you hear anything?
No. The fact that you are listening to the heartbeat implies that there are two. You see? That there is a consciousness and you are talking about consciousness implies there are two. You see, one who is experiencing the void, one who is experiencing the emptiness. One who is experiencing how the hell can you experience, why do you say that it is a state of not knowing? I don't know a thing about that state, that's all that I am saying. Why do you keep asking that idiotic question? It is a state of not knowing, you see. How can you talk of that, you see? I don't know. If you know, good luck to you.
I'm going home.
Go, 5 o'clock anyway, another half an hour wait, as he said. 20
You
more
are almost
minutes.
at the point of figuring it out.
No.
23 years I haven't understood
I'm
a
just
single. I know you are. A
Mr.
single
Douglas
thing.
Rosestone.
Rosenstone. And
Rosenstone, your name Rosestone.
Rosestone.
And not Rosenstein. Get this and get this straight. Okay. You have no way of figuring it out. I have no way of figuring it out at all.
Yeah.
You see, don't try to figure out.
I don't. To tell you the truth, when I leave this room, I can tell you, if there's one thing that has changed.
Tomorrow, you will tell your wife tonight
Mm.
all that we talked about. Yes.
No, actually,
Yes, I'm
no, you're
sure.
mistaken about that.
No, I'm not mistaken.
No, you were.
Yes.
You are.
Tomorrow,
No, I'm
you will
mistaken about that.
repeat this.
She asked, no, quite honestly, this is what goes on. I get home and she said, well, what did you guys talk about? And I go, God, I honestly don't remember. Yuji was in great form. We talked a little about
That itself is
sonnet.
enough. Yuji was in great enough. Enough.
Enough. That's it there. I ruined all of it then. Then and there.
Yeah. You must repeat. That's a healthy sign. I do it. The whole description, if you want, I can repeat it afterwards.
You're better than I can.
Now, what about our going and looking
For the sunset.
Sunset.